All right, guys, Amazon just left this on my front doorstep. This is a Squire at-home little padlock, and on a scale of 1 to 10, it rates a 5, so somewhere in the middle of the road. Now, this one did have a note. Let me put my thumb on top of his last name here. So Amazon does allow you to put a little note to let me know who it's from. So this one's from Klein. It says, I haven't seen this one before. Don't have high hopes because it costs less than $20. So let's find out. These little locks, I'm not a fan of combo locks because they usually have one or more weaknesses. This one's rated for, looks like gates, maybe sheds. I don't know, but not these guys. No garage door, toolboxes, server racks, or school lockers. So not real high on the security scale. This one's probably set at the factory to all zeros. So let me cut the package open, at least put a decent combination in there to give it half a chance. And let's see if we can't find one of those weaknesses of this little Combi 750. All right, guys, I've set a combination on this thing. It was all zeros from the factory. And the way you reset it is you have it on all zeros. You push this button, the shackle pops open, you rotate it 90 degrees, you remove that screw, and then you push this button in even further. Set the combination you want, and then replace the screw that resets the locking mechanism, and then you can close it back up. So what I do notice, removing that screw right now doesn't do you any good unless you have the combination dialed in. What that tells me, though, is if you find one of these and you can pick it open, you can reset the combination anything you want. You can make it yours. So this shackle is completely disconnected from the locking mechanism. So the way that you open it, you dial in the combination, which in this case is 1978. It only likes to roll in one direction. Once you get the combination, what I would tell you is that these numbers have to be lined up absolutely perfectly. If one of them is just a little bit cockeyed, it will not open. So dial it exactly right. Then you can push, and the shackle, as you can see, pops right open. The lock is very precise in terms of the number alignment. Anything out of the ordinary, you can forget it. As I said, the shackle is totally disconnected from the locking mechanism. So pushing, if I try to align these as best I can here, so pulling on the shackle has no effect whatsoever. You can spin them freely. Likewise, pushing in on that shackle spins freely, totally disconnected. So the real tension is going to have to come from here. Before I did that, though, I decided, well, I'm going to try to do a traditional attack. I'm going to try to shim it. So I spent about 10 minutes trying to figure out how to shim it. These are shielded on both sides. So in that respect, Squire did a great job. So far, it's looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how I figured out how to open this thing. It's a little harder than normal because you have to constantly keep pressure on that little plunger right there. And that will tell you, that's putting pressure on the core and helps you find the gates. So what I'm going to do is push very, very hard on that. You might even want to use a pair of pliers to push down on that. And then all you do is you try to find the binding wheel. So as you can see, these guys spin freely when there's not too much pressure, but when you put a heck of a lot of pressure, they get a little tighter, and one of them binds. And that would be that one right there, that last one. So instead of using my thumb, I'm going to use a probe to turn it to show you. So let's go ahead and put them all on a gate. So we know we're tensioning that last one. If this is misaligned like that, then we're wasting our time. So be very careful with your alignment. Make sure you got it. At that point, rotate it into a gate, and you should feel a little give here. And at the same time, another one of these wheels will bind. In this case, we are on a 5. Nothing is binding up, and I did not feel a give. So let's go to the next number. Perfect alignment. Feel it click in there. Again, put a lot of pressure on there. Try to find another binder, and you can see nothing's binding up. So let's make sure we get them all in a gate. Move it to the next number. Push a lot of pressure, and again, rotate it. And again, we got nothing binding up. So again, line them up perfectly. Rotate it to the next number. Apply a lot of pressure. And at this point, we're starting to see a little bit of binding up. He's binding a little bit. He's not. and he's binding a little bit. So what you need to do then is it's either this one or this one. Again, while you're applying heavy pressure, just pick a number, make sure they're all lined up. Pick this one or this one. Now I'm going to pick this one because we know he's picked. He might be, the plunger may be pressing on this one. If not, we'll just move to the first one. So I'm going to push down very hard. It is on a 6. Let's see if we got any binders. He's not binding. Line him up here. Heavy pressure. Rotate. He's binding a little bit, but he's still turning. So that's probably not the right number. Rotate to the next one. Again, make sure they're all lined up perfectly. So now he's rotating and he's bound up. So we're on the right track. So again, release tension, rotate it to the next number, push down. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize we were already on it, but it lined up perfectly and this depressed all the way. And now we're open. I guess what I'm trying to say is just keep pushing, applying pressure to this button while you rotate these. And as you find the gate, the button will go in further and further. Now, true, it's a small amount, but you'll feel a slight click when you're putting heavy pressure with your fingertip. It's going to take a while. What you might want to do is pick a couple of numbers, give your finger a rest. Tip of your finger starts to get a little bit numb. And then after 5 or 10 minutes of loosening back, let the blood flow back in there again, then come back and try it again. You'll get it. You find it's not that difficult. These aren't bad locks. It's just that the gates are not protected from the actuator, so they're not isolated. Anyway, there you go. The Squire Combi CP50. Appreciate your time. Stay safe. Stay legal. Klein, thank you, sir, for having the lock sent to the Lock Lab. Thanks, guys.